Disclaimer: this video is biased. I myself am an artist, and before research, had strong opinions regarding AI art. This video is not to be regarded as 100% factual, as every source is going to have its own bias, and my own personal experiences have affected mine. There has been research done, but this should still be considered an opinion piece. If the information given is incorrect or you would like to add on, feel free to correct in a civil way in the comments. In recent years, artificial intelligence, AI, has pushed its way to the forefront of the conversation. With the recent popularity of AI generators like OpenAI's ChatGPT, Artbreeder, Midjourney, and various popular filters on social media platforms such as TikTok and CapCut, the general public seems so excited to make use of it for entertainment or to avoid writing that essay on the French Revolution they need done by midnight. But in all the fun and coolness of it, some people have their concerns, and one of the largest groups of concerned individuals is artists. Many artists fear that AI art and writing has the potential to cause art careers to become even less attainable or downright extinct due to AI being a much cheaper, faster option than human labor. The art world before AI was already plagued by nepotism and a need for secondary careers to get by, and others' fear of technology making first-generation success nearly impossible. Personally, I've always been wary of artificial intelligence as a whole. I've subscribed to the dystopian concept of AI in the end existing to destroy humanity, as for it in learning what we are, begins to fear us and hate us even, simply recognizing that we were the true problem it was built to solve. Unfortunately for us, unrelated to the conversation of this video, does seem to be on its way as well. If it was not in this lifetime until recently, I expected AI to have the potential of surpassing human capabilities, but with the current development in technologies met with abhorrent lack of guardrails and regulations, I believe it may be something we could be seeing sooner than expected. Though I may not believe AI will kill us or take over the government right away, I do see its potential to automate many tasks, as it already has, and replace certain careers. It's a tool that had the opportunity to assist in making the world a better, more efficient place, yet has instead been set on a path towards quenching the insatiable capitalist thirst for immediate, cheap labor created by the fast and hard lifestyle of the 21st century. While many may not see this as an inherent issue, since they see AI simply as we are told to view it, a fun new toy to play with for silly images and quick essays, not realizing just how deep it runs or just how quickly it is progressing. Some look at its inhumanity as to why it's harmless, yet to many, that is why it's a threat. While preparing to make this, I wanted to answer the question, because of AI, is creativity dead? The simple answer was no, but there was some nuance. This came in the form of two new questions. Is AI art actually art? And why do artists hate it so much? But before we can answer those, it's best I give you a rundown of what exactly AI art is and how it's made and a few of the legal issues surrounding it. In simple terms, AI art is generated images created by computer programs using AI algorithms. These algorithms are trained by datasets consisting of images of objects or styles that they are supposed to recreate. If you wanted to create a program that could get you new dog images, you would feed it tons of cute dog photos. AI art is made by these types of computer systems. They've been fed thousands, sometimes millions of images of human-made art off the internet. These programs then attempt to replicate the style and subjects of these pieces to varying success levels. Because AI image generation requires data sets of existing work, in theory, it cannot create anything new or unique, limiting its skill base. Some pushback has come from this, especially from digital artists. Artists like Lois VB, a digital artist with around 2.5 million followers on Instagram and over 1,200 posts on the site, has hundreds of copyrighted works that have been used by these AIs, and aspects of her work can often be seen in many generated images. Lois VB and other artists have been frustrated by this, with a trend in anti-AI image posts coming from artists, especially digital artists, started in December 2022 by artist Alexander Natichkov, whose art, when viewed on ArtStation, is heavily watermarked, with many pieces now being anti-AI art pieces in general. These large amounts of work being available online and being put in these datasets for AIs does not just end at artwork. Any image online can be added, and likely has been. Billions of images have been added to these datasets, so it's likely that if you've ever posted a photo online, it has been added to one. This is a massive breach of data privacy and opens up many questions about image usage consent. Some artists have joined class action lawsuits after making the realizations that Lois VB had. With Kelly McKernan, an artist whose work became a popular style on these image generators, joined a class action lawsuit with Sarah Anderson and Carla Orts against AI image generation programs Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and DreamUp. All three of these generators use a nonprofit, Lion5B, that indexes an image dataset of over 5 billion images from across the web. This dataset included the artist's works, and includes the work of hundreds of other artists as well. This brought up many discussions about copyright and fair use, especially since at the time, the artists were unaware of their work being included in the dataset. Likewise, Getty Images sued Stable Diffusion after it became a common issue that any AI-generated red carpet photo had evidence of a Getty watermark, with Getty suing for copyright infringement. As previously mentioned at the time being, image generation requires past human creativity, and its dependence on pre-existing images, many of which are copyrighted, leads to nuanced copyright issues. AI-generated images on their own cannot be copyrighted. The U.S. Copyright Office deemed that a text prompt is not enough human interference for an AI image to be copyrighted. All unaltered AI images created with text prompts are to remain public domain, meaning they, and elements of them, cannot be copyrighted. But this does not mean all AI works remain public domain. Though the AI elements will remain public domain if created with a text prompt, it has not, to my knowledge, been determined if image prompt created material can be copyrighted. Also, a work containing AI elements can be copyrighted depending on the level of human alteration, as long as the generated elements remain public domain. This means that if someone got a hold of simply the AI elements, they have every right to do whatever they want with them, and the copyright holder of the altered image cannot do anything about it. Even characters created by AI cannot be copyrighted without alteration, so not even concepts are safe from the nuance of copyright, making it debatable whether or not AI artwork could be a helpful tool in concept design in corporate settings. There is no set level on what makes an altered image copyrightable if the original was created by AI, and for the foreseeable future it will remain a case-by-case issue. This does not mean AI-generated works cannot be sold, though. It just means that anyone can sell copies of them or merchandise of them without penalty. Even though this may be a deterrent to some people, there's still plenty of opportunity to profit. A comic book, Zyra of the Dawn, written by New York author Chris Castanova, was illustrated solely by use of the Midjourney image AI, the same one used to create the piece Space Opera Theater, which won an award at the Colorado State Fair in their digital art division on behalf of Jason M. Allen. Though originally granted copyright, Castanova did not plan to profit off the comic, but had also failed to tell the Copyright Office that AI was used to generate the images present in the comic. Yet when copyright legislation on AI works was released and the office discovered through social media the use of AI to create the images, despite her argument that Midjourney was merely an assistive tool, she was stripped of the copyright to the images, only retaining the rights to the texts and arrangements of the texts. Back in 2018, a piece of AI artwork, a generated portrait by the name Edward de Bellini, sold at Christie's auction house for $432,000. A year later, in 2019, a piece titled Memories of a Passerby of AI-generated artwork sold at Sotheby's auction for €40,000, or $52,684. Though as time passed, the price of AI artwork sank, it still sold for a profit despite minimal human interference. With AI-created artworks winning awards and selling for thousands of dollars, the immediate acceptance of AI-generated images into the art world frightened many creatives, such as myself. The idea of spending years honing your skills, painstakingly working your ass off for hours for a piece of art, only to be beaten out by a machine that couldn't have existed without the works created by humans that did nothing but use technology to reference billions of artworks to make something resembling them, is horrifying. Artists, though, despite many assumptions, don't have an issue with the AI itself. Simply the application. The use of AI image generation solely alone being rewarded with the title of art bothers many, including myself. AI art lacks the human nature of creativity simply due to its lack of human interference. You may argue that, well, no it doesn't, because you have to type out the prompt so that you have, the idea. To which I respond, are you kidding me? Though yes, you do have to come up with the prompt. The human interference involved in the creation of an AI-generated image is more in line with the process of commissioning an actual artist, where the commissioner gives the prompt and the artist makes it, but that doesn't mean that the commissioner made it because they had the idea, simply to how giving the AI the prompt does not entail that the prompt giver actually did anything. Which, yes, that's the same reason the Copyright Office gave for image prompt-generated images not being copyrightable due to lack of human interference, but it makes both points very clear. And not to be that kind of person, genuinely, I do not mean to sound insufferable, but when you Google the definition of art, the first thing you get is art, the expression or application of human creative skill and imagination, typically in a visual form such as painting or sculpture, producing works to be appreciated primarily for their beauty or emotional power. What does this mention exactly that I'm trying to argue? The expression or application of human creative skill and imagination. The use of a generative AI image does not require creative skill and imagination. It barely requires anything human. On a fundamental level, AI art isn't art. Using solely an AI to make a picture does not make you an artist. All it does is make you a person that plays with AI for fun. Yes, generative AI can be an amazing tool for art, but by itself, it isn't art. It's an image. I've seen it used as a great creative tool for sure, making great inspiration source or a good way to conceptualize an idea. It can even make a great starting point, but that doesn't mean everyone should want it. There's a reason why only a few days after Celsius announced that Clip Studio Paint, their digital art software, would be releasing a generative AI, outrage from their customer base of artists caused that plan to be canceled and an apology released. Artists don't want your AI. We don't care if you use it. Do whatever you want, honestly. As long as you aren't being a complete dick, who am I to care? What we do care about is the abuse of it, the false superiority of it, the attitude of the people promoting it. No one appreciates being told that their craft is dead. No one enjoys being replaced. No one enjoys the condescending mockery of the thing you've spent years exploring and perfecting. It does not matter what it is, but being told to just accept it and cope or get left behind is infuriating. One sentiment I saw over and over again when researching this was that art is dead and that we should learn to cope and move on with our lives. There was this condescending attitude towards artists from the AI creators that made it seem like the outrage was simply being dramatic. One of the major cases I saw of this was with Jason M. Allen, the man behind the Midjourney image that won the Colorado State Fair Award. In the New York Times article, AI-generated art won a prize and artists aren't happy, Allen is quoted saying, "Art is dead. Dude, AI won, humans lost." I also saw it multiple times in pro-AI articles recommending it as a cost-cutting measure, since it would require less legitimate artists, which if continued in the current direction, treats human creation as if it's an archaic tool. There's nothing dramatic about feeling angry when your livelihood and forms of expression are threatened by some self-righteous asshole with a computer and a stick up their ass. We don't hate your AI because of its sole existence. We hate it because of the way you treat it and you treat us in return. You aren't better than us. You aren't special. Neither are we for that matter. On a fundamental level, the most insignificant, mindless doodle is more of art than some unaltered, untouched AI image so inherently lifeless and meaningless that it is nothing more than pixels on a screen. You could have done something good. You could have done something interesting, but instead you created something that the world, in the end, may have been better off without, because without it, no one would have to hear the meaningless contemporary blabber as you act like some sort of creative genius because you could make a blurred portrait of lower quality than kindergarten arts and crafts with lines of code and real art that you pulled off the internet. Though in the end, what does it matter? If anything, the rampant acceptance of artificial intelligence generated images into the art world by non-artists represents the overall dependence on technology and modern inability to see other viewpoints. In our attempt to advance our world, we've managed to lose ourselves in the process. The homogenization of modern society under the guise of improving the world has made it impossible for people who disagree to meet in the middle. We are so quick to vilify and get fired up over disagreements that in the end mean nothing. Modern society, in its attempt to separate itself from its past, has become so focused on technology that without it, daily life could not go on. For most people, without access to a phone or a computer, they could not complete daily tasks required to succeed in life and would not be able to do their jobs efficiently or meet the demands of the modern world. In a time so globally connected, we are the most disconnected from ourselves we have ever been. As AI art cannot create anything not inherently derivative, we are pressured to conform while being told on the contrary that we need to change, yet the moment we do change, there is panic and judgment as we no longer fulfill the status quo. If I can convince you of anything, even if it's small, I recommend you just step outside, stand there, and touch grass. While you stand there, maybe consider how you would feel. If someone threatened to replace your career with a robot, taking away your income, just telling you to cope and move on with your life, better yet, maybe pick up a new hobby or dive deeper into that one you haven't had the time to work on in a while. Either way, thank you for listening, and feel free to leave a comment or subscribe. I'm not sure when I'll be making another video like this, but when I do, I hope to see you here again. Bye!